All right, let's get started with how to get the right hand position. I would like everyone to start off by making a shadow puppet, if you remember what those were. So this would be a dog or a fox shadow puppet. And as you can tell, my forefinger and my pinky are high in the air. So the next thing I want you to do is just relax those fingers. So they're not high like this, you just have them both a little more relaxed. Right now, my middle finger, my ring finger, my thumb are all touching at the moment. But what I want you to do is let your ring finger go up just naturally, just let it go. And it'll float up just a tiny bit, but not higher than the other fingers that are already up. And the next thing I want you to do is to also let go of your middle finger a little bit, just a little bit. And then lastly, curve your thumb. So this is what a ballet hand position would look like. I hope you got that. Let's shake it off. We can do it again. Start with our shadow puppet dog or fox. Then we'll lower its ears. And then we'll let our ring finger go up just a bit so that it's no longer touching. Ring finger's up. And then we're going to curve our thumb and let our middle finger go up a bit. So this is the classical ballet hand. So when I used to teach kids ballet, one thing we would make them do is to hold a coin or a golf ball right here between their middle finger and their thumb so that they would keep their thumb rounded. And in different ballet styles, the rounding depends. Sometimes people are holding a penny, really, really small opening. Sometimes a quarter, sometimes a golf ball or an egg, and they get really, really large. But it really largely depends. I like to keep the opening just a little smaller so that I don't have to feel like there's a lot of tension in my hand. And I also like keeping everything a little bit more on the rounded sides. I don't like flexing my fingers like this. As you can tell, this is a really flexed hand. There's a lot of tension. I like to curve everything just slightly. This is what it looks like. So let's talk about some common mistakes that happen. The most common mistake I've seen usually is people flex their thumb like this. The thumb actually goes out. And this happens when we're dancing and there are some weird combinations and we get really confused and we get really focused on the legs or upper body and we completely forget about the hands. So remember, rounded thumb, no matter what classical style of ballet you have learned, most styles round their thumb. As far as I know, there are no styles that purposely flex the thumb out like this. And the next common mistake that I see is flexing of the other fingers, just like that, just so that it comes up like this. Some styles favor more flexed fingers, but I would say no style actually does have flexed fingers. They're usually just a tiny bit of curvature, and the curvature is what differentiates each style. So there's no really straight lines. So the last mistake that I want to talk about is the flat hand, is when all your fingers are touching like this, and you're trying to mimic the ballet hand position, but you have kind of a tiny, tiny version of it. If I were to let go, this is what the ballet hand position would look like. So again, different styles have different preferences for how they want their hand, and eventually, as you dance more and more, you will be like me and develop probably your own style of ballet hands and fingers, but this is where I'm at the moment. I like to keep a smaller opening here, and I like things more on the round and soft side. But in New York, I would argue that the hands are a little bit more flexed and the opening is a little bit larger, like they're holding golf balls. So at the end of the day, it really depends, but I want you to get down to the basics, is that the middle finger should be the lowest and your thumb should be curved so that there's a little bit of space you can hold something between there. And how big the space really depends on the ballet style.